A man without brothers is a soldier without armor. We live in a time where men have more followers but fewer friends. Build the body, lead the home, honor God. This is where discipline meets devotion. I'm your host Connor, and this is the 3F Life: faith, family, fitness. Modern society has convinced men that independence is the peak of masculinity. Being alone, doing things without brotherhood and friends. But the truth is, isolation is not strength, it's a weakness. It's a slow death in disguise. It's something that sets up depression, anxiety, all of these negative things. Iron sharpens iron, and without friction you stay dull. Having a brotherhood is something that sharpens you as a man. Having real friends that challenge you, that tell you your excuses are nonsense. They basically hold up a mirror and help you improve your life. They don't let you be this weak man. They call you out and they help you grow. And I didn't have that for a long part of my life, and not having that accountability was big. Like, I was at a really low point in my life because of this, because I didn't have those male bonds that men need to have. They're very important. So number 2, you need men that understand your battles that are in your life. Some things can't be explained. They can only be understood. And men understand men. If you're in a relationship with a woman and that's the only conversation you have, like she's your best friend and you don't hang out with other friends, like, women can love us, but they're never going to understand the weight that men bear. We carry so much weight as men, and if you don't have other men that you can conversate with that are there for you, you're not going to have other people in your life that understand the battles that you go through. You're not going to have other men in your life that understand the relationship problems that you go through. If all you do is conversate with your wife and that's it. Like, this is something very crucial that I failed to do for such a long time. And it took until I was going through a divorce for me to remind myself that these male bonds were very important. And so I started reaching out to my close friends that I hadn't talked to in years. And I was able to rebuild those relationships and get closer to those friends than I have been in years. And they were able to help me grow through this experience and to help me rebuild my friends, and then obviously through Christ. So number 3, accountability over comfort. True friends won't let you lie to yourself and call it peace. A real brother isn't going to let you coddle your demons. He's going to call them out. A real friend, a man of Christ, isn't going to dap you up when you have a one-night stand with a woman. He's not going to tell you that it's okay for you to cheat on your wife. Those real bonds that you have with men are going to help you improve your life, because they're going to hold you accountable and tell you where you're screwing up and where you need to improve. And they're going to tell you to, a real man of God, he's going to tell you to, work on that relationship. Build yourself. I had a close friend of mine, like, when I first went through my divorce, and I think a lot of us men kind of go through this, where we go through a breakup or a divorce and we want to get back out there. We want to find another woman right away. And my friend was like, "No, bro, you need to work on yourself. You shouldn't worry about being in a relationship with a woman because you're broken. You should work on building yourself up, being closer with Christ, and then those things will pan out in the future. And then when you are in that stage in your life where you're ready to have another relationship, where you're ready to have a girlfriend and find a wife, then you're not going to be the same broken man that you are today. You're going to find a woman and you're going to be able to give her a different life, and you're not going to repeat the same mistakes because you've gone through that self-improvement. They're going to tell you to get back up and not quit on your life. So number 4, they're going to remind you who you are as a man. In a world that tells you to be everything, real friends will remind you who you're not. You want to live that life in sin and you want to do these certain things. Your friends are going to tell you that's not who you are. You're a man of God, and that's not what God wants for you. So they're gonna hold you accountable, and they're gonna remind you who you are. When the world's pulling you in different directions, your sins are creeping into your life and trying to consume you, a true friend is gonna hold you and be an anchor to tell you what you need and to follow your own principles and to pursue Christ. And number 5, Isolation breeds weakness. The lone wolf sounds noble until you realize that he starves first. We're not made to do this alone. We're not made to go through life alone. We're made to share these bonds, the brotherhood with our friends. And that, in every area of our life, that's going to build you up. When you have the right friends. Now, obviously, all of these subjects are a moot point if you have crap friends. And those friends are telling you to sin. They're promoting this bad lifestyle. They're trying to smoke weed with you, trying to get you in the club and drinking alcohol constantly. Like, that's not what this is about. This is about like true good quality Christian friends. And they're like the isolation. It's like you go through a breakup and you want to be like isolated. You want to be in your thoughts. And this causes depression, and those friends are going to pull you out of that. And then number 6, brotherhood builds legacy. You want to have a legacy? You want to leave a legacy? Start by walking with men who carry a vision. Men that have similar goals to yours are going to hold you accountable to pursue those goals. And you're going to get closer with them. You're going to get closer to your goals when you have men that you can build with. And friendship, it's like with me and my friends, like obviously we have lots of laughs. It's not just about laughs and having a good time. It's to build the soil where your greatness is going to grow. It's to improve your life, to build a legacy. Because my friends know, like, my friends don't have kids, not all of them, but they know that, like, me building a legacy for my family is important to me. So they're going to hold me accountable to that. They're going to help guide me in the right direction of where I need to go when it comes to being a father and everything like that. Even though they don't have kids of their own, they know that that matters to me, and they know that it matters to God because they have a relationship with God as well. So they're gonna help guide me in that direction. So number 7, emotional armor without weakness. Men aren't emotionless. They're just tired of being punished for opening up. In male friendships, you don't have to explain your silence. Like, and the funny thing is, like, with this is like, because I'm super close with my older brother, and I've got other friends that it's like this, like, they see that you're having like a bad day, and like, you don't think that that's like something that you're displaying outwardly. You think that you're just holding that in, and then they'll call you on it, like, oh bro, what's wrong? What's going on? And as men, like, we have this, there's this like taboo about like showing any kind of emotion. We don't want to be emotional creatures because that's what women are like. Women cry, women show these emotions, but when you're able to show your weakness to your friends, they're able to help you grow from that. But if your friends don't know that you have weaknesses, they don't know that you lust all the time, that you do these bad things that you shouldn't do, how do you expect your friends to be there in the ways that you need them to be? So this is a huge change in my life when I was able to just tell my friends like the situation I had been through, the sins that I had lived out, and they were able to help me grow from that because they knew the direction, and they understand like you can still be a masculine man and have emotions. And I try to tell this to my kids, like, if you're crying over pointless stuff, then I get it. That's not what we do as men. But there's certain things in life that we can have emotions with, and I try to pass that on to my kids so that they understand, because I was the father at one point they'd start crying and I'd call them a baby, like, stop being a baby. And that was just wrong. That's not the father that I wanted to be. And it took me going through stuff on my own that made me vulnerable and made me like have emotions that made me realize that on a higher level when it comes to being a parent. And then number 8, it's training for leadership. If you can't lead or follow in a brotherhood, you're not ready for fatherhood. Being a good brother teaches you how to sacrifice, serve, and speak with truth and love. And if you can't be a leader, and you don't have that group of friends that cares about being leaders and that cares about living right and self-improvement, how are you going to ever be a father that leads his family? How are you going to lead your wife? How are you going to lead your children when you don't have that leadership? And that's such a crucial part of being a man, is having leadership that we just kind of fail to do in many times. And then number 9, they're there for spiritual backup. When your faith falters, Your brothers pray even when you can't. A godly man doesn't just lift weights with you. He lifts you in the name of prayer. And I'm so blessed with this because I've gone through so many different things in my life that I've, like, for a while, I wouldn't ask for prayer. I'd tell people, like, once I hit like that rock bottom point, I'd tell people kind of what was going on. But until I got to a point where, like, I'd be at my Bible study and I'd be going through something really serious at home, and I'd ask my brothers to pray for me, and they'd stay late talking to me, giving me their input on the experiences they lived with in their life, and they were there for me spiritually to help me improve in my walk with Christ. That was such a major turning point in my life and in my relationship with Christ, knowing that I had other people that not only have my back, but they cared for me spiritually, that they would pray for me. And I've got a lot of men like that in my life, and I'm really grateful. Like, the situation I've gone through with my ex-wife, with my children, that they've been there and they've prayed for me, because I've felt the prayer, and that prayer is magnified. It wasn't just me praying by myself, because I was able to let those emotions out and explain the situation and what I was going through to the close friends of mine. And then number 10, you become who you walk with. You don't find yourself, you become yourself by walking with the right men. You got to look at your inner circle. Are you becoming stronger or just more comfortable? And there's a lot of people that talk about this, like, you take your closest friends and you average out your incomes, and that's probably where your income's going to lie. And that's on, like, more of a business standpoint, but it applies to other areas of your life when it comes to fitness. If you're fat, most likely a lot of your friends are fat too. If you're in shape, most of your friends are probably in shape because you guys live similar lives. And when it comes to Christ, if you're following Christ, you would assume your friends follow Christ as well. And if they don't, then go find the friends that do follow Christ, because that's very important. So, to finish this, brotherhood isn't optional. It's a survival tool. In a culture that celebrates self over sacrifice, your bond with other men might just save your soul. Getting closer to Christ and getting closer to your friends, I think these things go hand in hand together when you have the right friends. And for me, like, those were the turning points. I committed my life to Christ first. I started reaching out to the close friends that I knew that were walking in the Lord, and they helped guide me to be closer to God and to improve my life in these other aspects as well. If you're not a man without male friends, it's time to change that. This isn't something to do tomorrow or someday in the future. Change this now. And I think most of us, like, even me, someone who's really like really like a quiet guy, like I had like really good friends that I was able to lean on in these rough times, because every strong man you admire, he didn't climb that mountain alone. He had other male figures in his life. He had a brotherhood that he was able to go to war with, and this is something that's just very important. And if you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe. I want to offer self-improvement advice for other men that maybe have gone through something like me, so that they don't have to live and go through the same experiences that I did. Maybe they can improve their life, even if it's just a couple people here and there. As always, thank you, and God bless.